Sweet cherries. Hope you got your back straight for this one. There were 4 key bad news that all got released at once. How do we interpret it? Well, just expect it to happen. We are in the then they fight you phase. We're going to go through the Bitcoin monthly chart and have some interesting things to show you, friends. You know what's happened just now? Look, everybody's posting stuff like this. It's over. Just admit it. People are really giving up. I feel it as well. It really is like that, friends. You know, the weekly chart, which I have right here, the weekly chart is still green. It's still green. The super trend is still green. Remember, the super trend is just 3 times the ATR. So if you move 3 times the average distance in one direction, it flips the trend and then it stays there until you can flip it the other way. What I'm going to show you right now is the monthly chart. This is very interesting. The monthly super trend is huge. It is still red and you can feel it. We're still in a bear market. What I want you to know is in the previous cycle, the plus token Ponzi was so aggressive, it flipped it green. You see how it flipped green here? That price needed was $10,000 back there. Now, it was able to do it way before the Bitcoin halvening. This is why everybody got caught off guard. This is where the Bitcoin halvening was, May 2020. It flipped green way before that. You know, if we were following the cycle before, we should have stopped at like $6,000, but Bitcoin went all the way and tapped 13,400. I remember that. If we go back to the cycle that I think we're repeating, it is 2015 to 2016. This is the Mt. Gox Ponzi cycle. This was the cycle where Mt. Gox did 80% of all crypto Bitcoin volume and it all went to zero. It was running a Ponzi and we had to deal with the pain there. What's interesting is we flipped red. We flipped red for the bear market. And remember, these are monthly candles and we seem to be around this area right now. I'm going to go back to show you where we are today. See how we are grinding around this. The dotted line is my golden rope. So it's a 21 EMA. We seem to be grinding along around it. Now, also interesting, the Bitcoin halvening is right here, July 2016. The final thrust out of the bear market came when we flipped the monthly super trend to the buy signal, which is basically just a green. It just means we're now bullish. This price back then was $570. Do you want to know what price it would be for us today? It would be $44,200. So remember, the markets are smarter. They're reiterating every cycle. They're getting more intelligent. People are there. They're learning how to make money. So we don't know when this can happen. We are completely ready. It can happen on the Bitcoin halvening. It can happen months before, or it can happen months after. We don't know when. I mean, earliest would be December this year. Latest might be August of next year. I know that's quite a window of time, but it is what it is. At some point, to finally exit the bear market, where we actually cheer, where we actually get happy, that would be a close. You have to close a month above 44,200. You know, if we go back to that Mt. Gox Ponzi cycle as well, when they had the Bitcoin halvening front run, look at this. There were 2 months of poop, and then the 3rd month was the recovery, and then the 4th month was just recovering back to the excitement area. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's just to share with you the type of environment we might be in for. I mean, you don't know what can happen here, but if we went up, it might be like 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're in this for a while, friends. We're in this for a while. This is why I really believe if Bitcoin got back to this monthly zone, 44, 45,000, I feel like in my pointy elbows, there's going to be alt seasons. I feel like the market's now getting smarter. And you know, it's interesting. I don't even have to feel like it. I can tell you with evidence, facts in the charts, that in each cycle that we've gone through, the alt seasons have started earlier and earlier. So this is some interesting information I'm going to share with you right now. So alt season in 2013 was just 1 month, pretty much. It was November 2013. It was the very, very, very end. Bitcoin broke $250 and it went to $1,150 around up there. This November 2013 was alt season. I think Litecoin did a 20 to 40x. Some coins did like 100x, literally in just 1 month. A few coins did like a 10x, just 1 month, and then it was all over. It was all over. So this was very, very late. That was the very first cycle, very late. In the next cycle, altcoins started moving earlier. So this was at the very, very end of the Bitcoin run. But in the next cycle, the market started getting smarter. We had Ethereum. Ethereum started to get made here. People started to understand or barely understand smart contracts and the possibilities that were open there. So There was a final rush at the very, very end. There was. But if we go forward, okay, if we move back in time, I can show you that the Ethereum moves and alt seasons started earlier now. It actually had two starts. So yes, at the very, very end when Bitcoin finished, but also right after the Bitcoin halving. This is very interesting because Bitcoin broke its all-time high at that time. So you can see now, the market's starting to get smarter. They're like, hey, we're not going to wait for Bitcoin to get to the very, very end. We're going to start buying alts now. And that's what people started doing. Want to know something interesting? In 2020, it was the same thing. In fact, people front run it again. So yes, we did have alts that moved at the very, very end. But also, we had alts that started moving around the Bitcoin halving. People started to learn DeFi, yield, food tokens. Yes, they were all Ponzi pieces of trash. And yes, a lot of the ETH maxis unfortunately just dumped on everybody. But it is what it is. The market started to learn. They say, hey, we're not going to wait until the very, very end of the cycle or even halfway. We're going to start getting in now around the Bitcoin halving. Do you see how the market's getting smarter, friends? This is what happens. Now, where does that bring us to today? What's interesting is we have seen some alts moving here. I can't call it an alt season anywhere near because it's been one coin, one narrative, and it dies off. The lifespan is very short. But I wouldn't be surprised if, once again, the market doing what it always does, instead of waiting for this period of April 2024 to October 2024, instead of waiting for this period, I feel like the market will be ready to move up the alts beforehand. Now, of course, we're running out of time, but hey, it could be as early as like December this year, January, February next year. At some point, we just feel a bit bad because the candles are red. But what would this be represented as? We don't know. Obviously, we never know, man. It could be a new technology invention. It could be, an upgrade somewhere. We have no idea. Everybody thinks they have an idea, but I've already made all these videos to share with you. Please like, subscribe, bell button, or I've shown that it's not so easy because what we think is good, remember, it's not going to get the biggest network effects from the emotional money coming in. But it is what it is. So next time you think about the conditions we're in, just know that we've been here before. We have been here before. That's why the target really is 44,200. Some people have said, well, we've gone too far. We've got to come back down. I disagree because the only time in Bitcoin's history when it's actually gone too far is when it flips that bull trend or the bear trend for the monthly super trend. When Bitcoin basically, when it flipped the monthly super trend on the down direction, it was actually the low here. It was June 2022. And look at this. It was the low, but it just took time to think about. So this is a very interesting indicator to observe. And there will be more bouts of bad news that come out. I mean, they have to shake you out somehow, right? You got to think about this chart. If everyone knows that the low is in, I mean, a lot of people think, oh, we might come back for one more. Look, when people say, oh, we're going to come back for one more, they're saying the low is in. They're just saying like, oh, we can identify the low. The fact that everybody knows where the low is in, the narratives have to change by the evil overlord globalists, the bug eaters. They have to throw more things at you to shake you out. Because, see, you have no fear that Bitcoin's going to go to $2,000 anymore. So you need another feed. That's why they throw out all these news. They go, Evergrande, liquidations, BNB, Binance, Interpol, police, Kobe was right. What about the judge with the SEC? What about Elon Musk selling? All of this is a bunch of hocus pocus, friends, okay? So it doesn't matter how you spin it. By the way, shout out to Mr. Gabriel Haynes, right? This is what peak performance looks like. So far, as you've seen, we have repeated the 2015 to 2016 cycle. We are in this jittery zone. And if you really want the law of the land, I hate to say it, friends, because I'm living this every minute, okay? We're going insane here, but you're not allowed to feel any tingles until the Bitcoin halving year. You're actually not allowed to get excited. I'm serious. You're not allowed to feel an emphatic euphoria at all. Everything is a fake out. Everything. There's always these jitters. There's always these things going on. There's always these teething issues, all right? So just keep that in the back of your mind. We're not allowed to feel like that. Obviously, I'm hoping better things come. And I have this nice chart here just to share with you, even on a lower time frame, even when we go down on a lower time frame. So I've shown you the monthly, the weekly. If you go down to the daily, have a look at this. If you overlay many altcoins with what happened in 2019 and 2020, they match up exactly. So this is Ethereum Classic, but many of them do it. Like right here, friends, I've done this many times. Right here, you see the green arrows here? That is the zombie virus of 2020. And look where, if you see this little, where we are right now, that is what we just did today, right? That's what we did in this past week, this destruction. So every coin's got a bit of a different shape, but it's basically the same thing. It's crazy what happens. So what I've done is, okay, what I've shown you is, if you match up how many days we were into the cycle and you got March 2020, the zombie virus, where we are today is exactly that for all the altcoins and Bitcoin itself. If you took April 2021 as the high, that retail euphoria. So isn't it wild to see that they all match up? Like, subscribe, Bobbard and all friends. I'm going to catch you in the next one.